Hello, welcome to the Art Breakthrough, where busy moms can take some time out to improve their drawing skills through self-care and spirituality. I have something very special planned for us today. We are going to go over the top 4 tips to gain a likeness in your drawing, which is what the goal always is, right? When we're drawing portraits, we want it to look like what we're drawing, and sometimes that can be really frustrating when it starts to look less and less like our reference picture. This is going to be broken up into a 2-part series. So today we'll begin drawing our picture together, and you'll get some of those tips today, and then we'll finish it up next week. So grab your pencil and your paper and let's get to the drawing table. The 4 most important aspects of gaining a likeness in your drawing. Someone requested this recently, so thank you for your suggestion. When we are trying to gain a likeness, a big important part of that is starting off light, because if you go too dark, then you're going to run into issues when you try to change it. And you definitely want to be able to change your drawing as you go throughout the whole process. You do get to one point where, you're far into shading, and it would be really difficult to change, and that is partly why we want to draw light in the beginning stages, so as we're changing it, you can do so easily without affecting the entire drawing. Your shoulders kind of disappear in the picture, don't they? But I know they're there. Can't fool me. So I'm just kind of measuring the width, looking at the distance between how far is the torso in relation to where this edge of the head ends. That's a good spot right there. Someone has been eating on my drawing table. Probably the kiddos. Alright. I'll sketch in a little bit of the dress. Got that flower right here. Or just putting in the base parts right now. That's not quite as far over as I've got it. There we go. It's not straight, but it's not as much of an angle as this side. That's probably about right. Checking the angle of the neck. going to erase some of these extra lines in here. Part of the bonus of drawing light. Okay. Have that arm a little too thin on this side. Change that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and sketch out the face. Already I can tell it looks like I've got to shift my angle a little bit this way. She's tilting her head a bit more than how I've got it here. That might be enough. Let's see. No, not quite. That's probably good. Okay. As you are drawing these lines, notice that these aren't straight lines I'm drawing. We're noticing the tilt of the head. It's almost straight on. Her head is tilting to the left, so that's why I've got this angle going slightly to the left here, because we're going to play on that to try to gain a likeness. And then as I'm doing the line for the eyes in the center, I'm noticing subtleties of whether her head is tilting up or not. As far as that's concerned, it's pretty straight. She's not really looking up or down. So we'll just kind of keep that mostly straight. Okay, and then we've got the nose halfway down and the mouth halfway between that. Eye in the middle here, eye in the middle here. Notice I'm still going very light at the moment. And the eyes is something in particular that you want to pay special attention to. I know that through the whole drawing you're trying to get everything right. There's so many little subtleties of curvatures of the eye that if you don't pay attention to, you can lose a likeness very quickly. So you want to be careful with, does the eye come to a point right here? How much is the curve in the corner of the eye? How much does the bottom lid
scoop up to the top lid. How big is that curve? So just pay attention to the angles there and try and notice all those little subtle things that come into play. I've got this one too high because if I bring this straight across, it's all the way down here. So already I want to change that so that's going to be matching the other eye. It's looking really funny because of the pre-eye that I've done, but we'll get that back in the right place. There we go. Easy as pie. I'm just noticing how big is the gap between the top of the lid and the crease of the lid there. I'm trying to see if I've got that a good distance that matches the picture. So that brings us to our next key in getting a likeness is doing the proper measurements. So you're coming, the corner of the eye comes down to the edge of the nose. But it's not always perfect. So you have to come down and then gauge, well, the wing of the nose is coming slightly, ever so slightly outside of that. So then you have to bring that out. And when you do those measurements, you can gauge how close you're getting to your picture because you bring that down, you're going to come out that tiny bit. And when you're doing that over and over and over, all around the different points of the face, that's going to help you get a likeness. And I'll show you more of that as we're going. Another tip, is part of number 2 as well, that is you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You're using these measurements and you're checking these measurements, making sure that you have things right before you start shading. Because, you want to start shading and get to the fun part, but you have to hold yourself back before you start shading until you can double, triple check these measurements. And as you start to get more details of the face, like once I get the nose sketched in and the mouth, the eyebrows, I can double check those things and make sure I'm happy with where they are sitting and make sure there's nothing that I need to adjust before I begin the shading process. Okay, so that's really important. Checking to see where the ball of the nose falls according to where the middle of the eye is, right here. So I'm noticing what is the angle of this line as I go down. It's not quite straight down, it's a little angled. And same with this side. Noticing that these nostrils don't come all the way down to the bottom of the ball of the nose. So I'm going to have those stay up here. It looks like the wings are kind of angled as well. Kind of going out towards the edge of the face as you get towards the top here. I'm just kind of sketching in where I see that shadow line, just very lightly. And sketching the eyebrows. And we've got these bangs here. I'm not going into great detail yet. I'm just kind of plugging them in a little to see if I've got them in the right place. You can kind of see the ear on the bottom of this right side. Not the whole thing, just some, so I'll just do the portion I can see. I think I'm going to erase that shadow because it's kind of distracting me right now. Again, I'm measuring from the center of the pupil down, because that's going to be the corner of her mouth. This lip comes up a little bit in the middle there. Noticing. I tend to hop around. I'll try and stay focused on this mouth. Now this edge of the mouth kind of goes down farther than this lip. It goes up and then it comes back down, if you notice that. So do that on this other side as well. I know I said not to shade yet, but these big marks right here by the mouth are going to help me see if I do have things in the right place. So I'm still doing it very lightly, but just want to see how that's going to look there. Got that eyebrow a little too high, I think. Now I definitely have to widen these cheeks. This is not the right shape anymore. So I'm gonna come out here and do that. Keeping that very light. It's just helping me to see, because it's such a large shadow if I've got things in the right place. That's been needed for a long time. It's probably been bugging you. Sorry. Okay, I raised that top lip up a little bit, so now I'm going to erase the inside. So I can wave that up a little bit as well. The inside of the mouth. Notice I have to move this side of this iris over a little bit. Got that starting a little too soon. That's better.
Thank you so much for drawing with me today. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this time and I hope you learned something new. These tips will really help you in your drawing as you apply them and practice, practice, practice. And please join me for next week so we can finish up this drawing together and you can learn yet some more tips. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming drawing tutorials. And let me know in the comments what you found most helpful or what you'd like me to cover next. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.